Hello again. Um, I had no idea that I would have posted my first video on the internet, so making another one is a little bit surreal. And yes, this is weird, I know. But after posting my first video and getting the responses that I did, there are a few things that I would really like to say. First of all, I want to say thank you so very much for all of the incredibly kind, positive, and uplifting comments that I got from so many people in my private messages, just saying how brave you think I am and how proud of you, how proud you are of me, and I really appreciate that. It was so lovely to get such positive feedback. Considering that I had no idea why I decided to film myself talking about myself. It's weird. I know it's weird. So I wanted to say thank you to those of you who had positive things to say, which was everyone. I think the only not quite so positive comment that I got was, I don't really understand why you did that. And that's totally okay. For me personally, I still don't really understand why I did that, and I still don't really understand why I did it or why I'm filming another one. But I guess the most important thing for me is that people thanked me for the video that I made. They said thank you for me sharing my feelings in such a public way, and for making them realize that they are not the only ones who have these feelings of depression and anxiety and suicidal thoughts and all that sort of stuff. So I guess that's why I decided it was really important for me to make another video. One, thanking everybody for their kind words. Beautiful, beautiful kind words, support, love. And also I wanted to address a few things that I feel came through some of the comments. So first of all, I wanted to really emphasize that I am in no way, shape or form anti-medication in any sense of that. I believe that there are times in some people's lives where you need medication, and I was definitely one of them. There were points in my life where I 100% needed to be on medication for my own health and well-being and for my safety. And so I think that that's something that you need to discuss with your doctor, a doctor that you trust, that you have a rapport with, yeah. And especially when it comes with, when it comes to coming off medication, I think that's an even more important discussion to have. Please do not ever take coming off antidepressants or anti-anxiety medication lightly. If you need it, you need it. There's no shame in that. And I 100% know that there is no shame in needing medication to support your mental health. I completely understand that I did it the wrong way. I was away on holiday, I was out of my normal routine, and I came off them, and I came off them hard. And coming home and coming back to my normal routine, I just decided that I could just keep on not taking them. And whereas for me, it's been really, really hard, especially the first month of not taking them. It was really hard. I had a lot of symptoms. I had a lot of paresthesia or numbness and tingling, especially in my face, my hands, my feet. Memory loss, concentration issues, and for a little while, the anxiety came back with a vengeance. I was really lucky that the depression side of it didn't come back with a vengeance. It still could, and I'm well aware of that. So, one thing that I really wanted to say is that there is absolutely no harm in needing to go back. If you try to come off them, there's no harm in going back. And I said in my comments in conversation to people reacting to my video that if, 2 weeks, a month, 2 months, 3 months down the track, I find myself not coping, I have no problem going to my doctor and saying, this is the situation, I'm going to go back on them. And that's just the truth. There's no shame in it, really, no shame. Another thing I wanted to touch on was why I personally needed medication, and I'm not going to go into any personal details other than there were very traumatic circumstances in my life which I unfortunately was not mentally or physically able to cope with on my own. And my GP suggested that I take these medications, and then, when one wasn't working for me, try another one. When another one wasn't working for me, try another one. If that one wasn't working quite so well, let's increase the dose. And it was all around events that were going on. It was trauma-based, things going on in my life that I had no control over whatsoever. And for a multitude of reasons, I couldn't deal with myself without medical support. Yes, I did go to counsellors. I did cognitive behavioural therapy, which was fantastic. I recommend cognitive behavioural therapy to anyone who's struggling with depression and anxiety. It is a huge, huge help. And the airy-fairy side of me also really believes in mindfulness and bringing yourself back to that place of just pushing all of the bullshit out and focusing on nothing. It's really important to know how to just ground yourself when things get really out of control, when you get really anxious, when you get really depressed. You need to be able to take a really deep breath and ground yourself and remind yourself that this is where you are, this is the present. You can't change the past. There is absolutely no point worrying about the future because there's not a hell of a lot we can control about the future unless we set very strategic plans about it. And the other thing that I've learned is that you really have to stop focusing on everything. Worry and I've probably been told this many times in my life, but I was told it last night, and it really, really resonated with me. And I was told, you have to stop worrying. Worrying achieves nothing, and it makes you sick. And that meant so much. You've got to stop worrying about things you have no control over. You can't worry about what other people think about you. And in all honesty, what other people think about you is none of your business. Unless you're an absolute asshole, then, maybe that's something that you need to work on in your own time. But what other people think about you, what other people say about your back, about you behind your back, there's nothing that you can do about it. Basically, stop worrying about things that you can't control. So important. And that is 100% my goal at the moment, right now, is to stop worrying about shit. Oh, I'm in debt. Why worry about it? As long as you're paying it off, you've got a roof over your head, you've got transport, you've got a job, there's food in the house, that's all, There's nothing more you can do about it. Stop worrying. The other thing that I wanted to touch on is why I personally felt I needed to stop taking my medication. And that's going to be a situation that's different for everyone. For me personally, I came to a very hard realization that the reason I was on antidepressants was because of trauma or bad shit happening in my life. And I needed a coping mechanism at the time. And yes, things got really bad. And as I mentioned in my last video, my doctor mentioned that they believed that I would need to be on antidepressants for the rest of my life. But I'm stubborn and I don't do what I'm told. So I came off them because I realized that, yes, the medication helped me through those crappy times where I was hurt, I was broken, I was not functioning as a normal human being, and they got me through. But I didn't learn anything from those shitty situations about how to cope. I didn't learn any lessons from them. I didn't progress. I didn't mature to a certain extent from a lot of what happened. And I honestly realized that to really heal and to really move on from all of the crap that I've been through, me personally, I needed to come off the medication. And I felt like I was in a good place in my life where I could really give it a go. And I have a lot of support. I have my mum, so many friends that I can vent to, that I can talk to. And yes, I have days where I feel really alone and like no one understands and nobody really cares because it's not their shit. This is my shit. And to a certain extent, that's true. Nobody's going to care about your shit as much as you care about your shit. And that's another lesson that I'm learning, is that you can't think that a friend is less of a friend because they don't understand or they don't, think that your shit is as important as you do. Because it's not as important to them as it is to you. And as much as people might say that they're there for you 100%, and that's wonderful, you hang on to those people, your shit will never be as important to them as it is to you. Another thing that people struggling like I have, that you need to remember is, no matter how much you're hurting, no matter how much you're sad and broken, you still need to treat your friends and family with respect. And I've been so guilty of not doing that in the past, especially to my family, especially to my mum. And I know that you're going to watch this, Mum. And yes, Mum was the one that said, I don't understand why you did it. And that's fine. I still don't completely understand why I'm doing it either. But I think my mum was probably the one person who was always there for me. And I was angry and upset and disrespectful to her during the times when I needed her the most, and I don't know why. And it damaged our relationship for little periods of time, which is why I really wanted to say how important it is to be kind, even when you're furious, even when you want to break something, even when you're in a heap on the floor crying and you feel like no one's there for you. It's still really important to be kind, because the last thing you need is for your support people to walk away because they don't want to deal with you anymore. I've been there. I can honestly say that I've lost many friends because of my depression, because people thought that because I was suicidal that I wasn't a good friend and I didn't care about them and that I was selfish. And I have lots of feelings about that. I'm not going to delve into them right now, but the thing I really wanted to say is just to remember to be kind. Be kind to your friends, be kind to your family, even if you're really, really broken. Because if you've got no support, things are only going to get worse. Yeah, so for those of you who asked for a little bit more of my story, I hope this is enough for now. I honestly don't ever see myself sharing the really intimate details of what happened, because it's very personal and it involves people that probably don't want me to air bullshit on the internet, and that's perfectly fine. I would never want to involve other people without their permission. And of course, I have children, and as my mum very rightly pointed out last night, my kids could see these one day, and I would never want to inflict any pain or sadness on them. I mean, maybe one day when they're older, we can have that conversation. But for now, that's not something I would ever want to put on them. Yeah, and privacy is privacy. I just really wanted to share a little bit of my general bullshit. Yeah, so that's really all I wanted to say for today. I guess if you wanted to see some more videos on my experiences, you could let me know what you want to hear about. And I guess because YouTube is the most easiest venue to upload these videos. If you want to keep hearing from me, I don't know if I'll keep making videos. I have absolutely no idea. But yeah, I guess if you wanted to see more, then you could subscribe to my YouTube channel, which sounds so stupid. I hate saying that. It's so dumb. But I guess that would be the best place to keep listening and keep asking for what you want to hear about, or if you wanted to comment your experiences and let me know what they are, what you want to talk about, because I'm all about conversation. I never used to be. And now I'm making videos about my experiences. So I guess I'm a little bit more about conversation now. I really believe that talking in a healthy way about what's going on really is healing. It's cathartic. It's important. So please, if you have anything to say, get in touch. Leave a comment on my video. And yeah, if you want to see more, then maybe subscribe to my YouTube channel. Let me know what you want to hear about. I might talk about it. Yeah. Anyone. Anyway. Yeah. Sending out love to everyone who needs it.